Hello everyone, this is Do welcoming you back for another Sword of Convallaria video. Today we're diving deep into the game's only offensive taunt tank, the unstoppable DOMMY Pamina. Pamina is a breaker affiliated with the Night Crimson, Fortitude, and Iria factions. Her trait, Unyielding Heroine, increases her physical defense based on the number of enemies surrounding her. She also ignores a block, gains additional physical defense, and converts up to 30% of her defense into physical attack, depending on her star level. Her signature buff, Unyielding Heroine, allows her to unleash an AoE counterattack up to 4 times per turn, while also generating lifesteal to keep herself in the fight. However, for each additional enemy hit by her counter, the damage is reduced by 10 to 30%. If you're planning to invest in Pamina, 3 stars is the minimum you'll want to unlock a decent number of counterattacks. At 5 stars, she gains even more flexibility in her skill tree, allowing for a more diverse build. Now, how does all of this translate into battle? Let's see Pamina in action.
共に戦おう。おお。何か手伝えるかい？感謝する。ありがとう。感謝。気になっているのは誰かしら？感謝します。下がれ。どれどれ？感謝する。そこだ。よく見ときな。敵軍を蹴散らすぞ。一斉にかかってくるがいい。
In the previous battle, I ran a 5-star Pamina with her standard build, equipping her with the army-breaking spear, shield of justice, and the magician tarot. The army-breaking spear boosts her critical hit rate and attack by up to 10%, while also increasing her critical damage by 10% under specific conditions, depending on the spear's star level. Most importantly, it resets the cooldown of a non-instant skill and refunds its energy cost, with this effect having a cooldown of 3 turns. Shield of Justice is a strong choice, especially on maps where there aren't enough enemies to fully break through her physical shield. It grants her additional attack and defense, which synergize well with her trait, making her even tankier. For engraving, Sword and Wand Resonance works well with her playstyle. It boosts her attack and defense by up to 12%, and since she typically moves before executing her final action in a turn, she takes full advantage of this buff. Because the effect lasts until the start of her next turn, it gives her a solid boost throughout the entire enemy phase. As for Tarot, I prefer the Magician Tarot to keep her AoE counter strong against multiple enemies. Its special effect helps offset the 30% damage reduction penalty from her trait when countering more than 3 units. Alternatively, the Tower Tarot can also be a viable option depending on the situation. Now, let's put her into action again, this time with a critical focused build.
なっているのは誰かしら。ここは通行だね。敵軍を蹴散らすぞ。背にかかってくるがいい。敵を叩き潰す。何か手伝えるかい。どれどれ。汚物は片付けないと。ここは通行止めよ。これは罰よ。汚物は片付けないと。使用対象に掃除完了です。塵一つ残っていません。気配が近づいてきました。使用対象に何か手伝えるかい。感謝する。ありがとう。感謝する。くれ。敵を叩き潰す。気になっているのは誰かしら。ここは通行止めよ。総崩れになるがいい。何でも言って。どれどれ。ここは通行止めよ。これは罰よ。敵を叩き潰す。敵軍を蹴散らすぞ。総崩れになるがいい。くれ。敵を叩き潰す。何か手伝えるか。分かった。ありがとう。
In the previous showcase, I recreated a scenario where all of my main DPS units were spent, leaving Pamina as the primary map clearer. This critical build is highly niche and only shines in specific situations, such as the Tower of Adversity. Because of the sheer number of enemies in this setup, I opted to equip Pamina with Maverick's Cloak instead of Shield of Justice, as the latter can be easily overwhelmed. This build also relies on having at least the Coco and Justice Tarot to function effectively. With this setup, Pamina reaches an 85% critical hit chance, making her counterattack significantly more devastating. Now let's dive into Pamina's skill tree and explore which nodes I believe are worth investing in. Before we begin, I want to preface this by saying that Pamina is a high investment unit built for very niche scenarios. Because of this, I would only recommend pulling for her and her spear if you're a high spender. With that in mind, I'll be very liberal with my skill choices, assuming that if you're pulling for her on her banner, you're already investing at least 300 pulls per month. This means we'll be looking at her skills with the expectation that you have the resources to optimize her fully. Now, let's break down which skills are worth prioritizing. At rank 1, prioritize Breakthrough Spear, as this skill directly enhances Pamina's DPS capabilities. I would also activate Who Dares to Contend for the additional defense bonus, as it synergizes well with her trait and increases her overall durability. At rank 3, Indomitable Stance is the priority since it reduces damage taken while also boosting her AoE output, making her even more effective in extended fights. I'd also activate Inertial Chop, as it provides additional defense, further strengthening her survivability and output. At rank 5, prioritize Upright Spirit, as it helps Pamina stay healthy and dispel debuffs, keeping her in peak fighting condition. Since she also functions as a sub-DPS, I'd activate Front Defense for the extra attack boost, which allows her to contribute more offensively. At rank 7, Onslaught is the must-have skill that truly defines Pamina's role. This is her ultimate attack, allowing her to jump to a target location, taunt enemies in an area, and inflict vulnerable too. She also gains a buff that reduces incoming damage and piercing damage by 30% while granting Resolve. The move has a 4-turn cooldown, but this can easily be bypassed using Army Breaking Spear, making it a crucial part of her kit. I would skip shield-breaking fierce thrust simply because I've never found a situation where it fits efficiently in her skill loadout. Finally, at rank 11, activate both nodes, as they provide additional attack. Counterattack Slash is worth slotting in when facing maps with many ranged attackers, as it allows Pamina to counter single target attacks from units up to 8 tiles away. Meanwhile, frontline action is excellent for tougher fights, as it further reduces incoming damage by 20%, allowing Pamina to sustain herself against harder-hitting enemies. I also want to mention that Surefire attacks should be prioritized, as it provides additional defense and increases Pamina's overall utility. Given how much her kit benefits from stacking defense, this skill is a solid choice. On the other hand, Powerful Attack isn't worth picking in my opinion, as the extra 10% damage doesn't contribute enough to justify using a skill slot. Pamina's strength lies in her counterattacks and tanking ability, so it's better to focus on skills that enhance those aspects. For Pamina's skill loadout, Surefire Attack, Upright Spirit, Onslaught, and Indomitable Stance are her core skills and should always be included. These provide a strong mix of damage, survivability, and utility, making them essential for her playstyle. Her 5th skill slot is more flexible and can be adjusted based on the map's requirements. Counterattack Slash is the better choice when dealing with multiple ranged attackers, allowing her to counter units from up to 8 tiles away. Meanwhile, frontline action is a great option for tougher fights where she needs additional survivability, as it reduces incoming damage by 20%, helping her withstand harder-hitting enemies. Overall, her skill loadout can be adapted depending on whether the priority is countering ranged threats or tanking heavy hits in a crowd control scenario. To summarize, Pamina is a fun and powerful unit, but she comes at a high cost and is only useful in very niche scenarios. Because of this, I would only recommend summoning her if you have the resources to fully optimize her. Otherwise, she may feel incomplete and underwhelming. That being said, she is known to perform exceptionally well in PvP, especially against Tristan, as she can disable Tristan's unlimited resolve with her choice skill, making her a strong counter in the right matchups. So that's it for today. Let me know in the comments what your plans are for Pamina. I'm personally skipping her since she's out of my budget, but if you're pulling for her, I wish you the best of luck. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Stay cool, stay crispy. This is Doe signing off. See you in the next video.